Ian Gilley, Denver-based keyboardist, composer, and producer, known for his work with Nightcap, Diastrata, Midnight.Blue, and the Flamingosis Live Band. His music fuses retro-futurism, vintage synthesizers, and guitar melodies with modern jazz harmony and production. Shows at Dazzle on May 1st celebrates the release of his debut solo album. Ian, thanks so much for stopping by the KUVO Studios today.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate
Pleasure
it.
to be here.
So, for any of our listeners that are, unfamiliar with you or your work, let us know a little bit about yourself.
Like you just said, I'm a keyboardist, composer, producer, based out of here in Denver. I make kind of this jazz fusion-y, R&B, modern mix-up of vintage and new stuff. I moved here I'm originally from Arkansas. Moved here in 2019. I'm in a band that kind of had some motion out here, and then we thought it was a good idea for us to relocate and continue the trajectory a little bit, get into a bigger market, get a bigger pool of ideas, people, players, everything, places to be, and I really enjoy like Herbie Hancock, Corea, George Duke. So everything that I do is going to be coated with all that vintage keyboard guy stuff.
Yeah, you can really hear that kind of DNA on your new project.
Heck yeah, man.
And so what was that first band that you moved out here with?
It was Diastrata, me and Drew Birch.
Okay,
He's
awesome.
got a solo project as well, but we kind of started together and kind of came up, cut our teeth early, and learned kind of how to do this, and figured out who we are, what we are. And it was honestly, really, I've been blessed in a lot of ways because he's one of the most talented dudes I've ever encountered in my life, and I got to kind of have a front row seat to the process and how to be as dope as that.
Yeah, it's so important, like surrounding yourself with just like great people.
Be the dumbest guy in the room. That's what I try
and
to
just constantly be learning. Yeah,
exactly. Constantly learning. That's the idea.
Yeah, like I first kind of really got into the Diastrata stuff like because of the like electro funk kind of style and the collabs with like Flamingosis.
Heck yeah.
And that stuff, and your new music here kind of like blends that retro futurism with like jazz harmony and stuff like that, kind of like a modern tinge of it. Like, how did that sonic identity kind of develop over that time period?
I talk about musical diet a lot. Like you ever heard the expression, you are what you eat. I was blessed. I had a dad who was really tapped in on just good music. I mean, I was listening to Miles Davis from the time I was born. So it's like we had the James Brown going in the house. We had the Herbie going in the house. We had George Duke going in the house. And so like I just kind of grew up having that musical diet. And in my opinion, having an ear is just kind of like one of the most important things. And whenever you develop everybody's got their own path, but for me, mine was that. And so I developed a lot of ear that way. I didn't even start playing the keys until I was like 18. I started kind of on FL Studio making beats, and it got to where I was like, I want to put stuff in the screen, like not here put it digital. I want to play it in.
Yeah, let me make my own sounds.
Yeah. And so that's kind of how I started. Shout out to Miss Hasley. I'm sorry for using your class as beat making time and not yearbook making time.
Hey, but see what Miss Hasley did? Yeah.
We got some beats lined up.
And also
too.
is the beat like you released that Brandy remix on your
yeah.
SoundCloud. Like you got some remixes going, all that stuff. Like I know that you're all over the place.
I'm too ADD. I can't stop. It's like I've got treasure troves of just random beats and ideas, and a lot of these songs kind of started. I'll start stuff as demo and play, like make an Ableton project of it, kind of get the idea of what I want, and a lot of times I'm just fusing some Herbie Hancock, Corea stuff that I've heard or some gospel voicings that I'm like, ooh, that's nice. I'm gonna take that, and so it a lot of it has, like I said, it was musical diet. It's like you are what you eat. If you listen to something, it's funny how like. It's subconscious, it comes out of you. And programming the subconscious was big for me with that kind of sound. I love Fender Rhodes, man. I love warm P bass with flat wound
that
strings.
warm sound.
Oof,
yeah,
I love it. Vintage drums crunched up.
The vintage synthesizers. What draws you to that sound? Is the warm or just?
I honestly love the ability to morph on the fly. Like right now, I've got in the studio, I've got a Moog Muse, which is like a big old polyphonic Moog, and I've got another Moog, and I've kind of found myself here lately. I'm just in synthesizer world. I'm flipping knobs and just kind of exploring. There is no rhyme or it's like to think like a child, man. You know, just mess around. You discover.
I heard a quote the other day that was like, when you're in production mode and in that creative mode, it's kind of like, be like a child there, and then in your post-production, that's when you can get like a scientist.
Hemingway, write drunk, edit sober.
There you go. Yeah,
that
exactly.
That kind of idea.
Yeah.
So big. I'm huge on musical diet. I love listening to old, vintage '70s Rhodes, warm. It's my heart.
So you talked about like a musical family. Did your parents play
My
anything?
dad played a little bit in high school, nothing serious, but he was a journalism major, and so he's kind of got this literary brain, and he was always tapped in. My mom was a medical professional, and so she had this encyclopedic type brain, and my dad was kind of this artsy kind of guy, and I feel like I kind of like we are you are your parents kind of thing. And so like my dad had just a great taste. My dad was always just a taste guy. He knew the coolest stuff always. He was always, and I still revere him in that way.
I can tell from your shirt.
Yeah, dude, I've got to get the dad swag popping. You got to get the hand-me-downs rocking.
You've worked with those projects, Diastrata, Nightcap, Midnight.Blue, Flamingosis Live Band, all those things. How do you think those, like, working in those collaborative spaces and stuff has kind of shaped your musical voice?
Oh, man. Well, first off, all those guys that are in those projects are immensely talented and have experience that I couldn't sniff. And so like I approached it like I want to learn from these guys. I want to be a sponge. And so having guys like Deitch and Birch and Flamingosis, Will Trask, who's like a percussionist around town, but that guy knows everything, right? You put yourself around these people, and I think that I put myself in position to win by just being around those guys and being able to be a sponge. And they have also were equally as giving with their knowledge and their experience. And I took it and ran with it. Like I used to lived with Josh Fairman for 3 years. He's the guy who produced this album.
Okay.
He co-produced it with me. He engineered it, mixed it, mastered it. He crushed it. He's been like big bro for me. And he connected me to a lot of like the Nightcap thing, the Midnight.Blue thing, like all those guys. Like that was a Fairman connection for me. And he was that guy who told me the truth about my playing and told me the truth about the stuff and wasn't shy about making me go to work. And he was also producing all these people's other stuff, mixing and mastering down in the basement. So I'm upstairs just kind of listening to everything that ain't even out yet because he's down there mixing it, and I'm just soaking it
all in.
There's so much music that I've heard that nobody even knows about, like,
and probably won't see the light of day.
I hope it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and I was in a unique position for that. Like getting to live with him, somebody who is one of the most knowledgeable people about music. And that guy, wow, like can pinpoint a thing, like what you're trying to do, how to do it, how to get the sound. He's a genius. I think of him as, and like, hadn't even talked about his bass playing yet. He's an incredible bass player.
So he's a musician as well.
Yeah, man. He's the best. He's my big bro on like who really kind of gave it to me. Like I would do sessions. We would do sessions. For instance, some of these Midnight.Blue sessions, I would like he would be in the control room to my left, and I would just be playing, looking through the glass, and he'd just be shaking his head or nodding his head, like nope, yep, like and that I mean. You can't put a price on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Having somebody who knows, being like, no, yes, and you're learning real time.
Uh-huh.
I didn't go to music school. Like I taught myself. I studied with Nicholas Simrod, who's he's in right now. He's touring with Empires of the Sun, I think is what they call. And I found him with Corey Henry and the Funk Apostles.
Gotcha.
I was at the very first Corey Henry and the Funk Apostles show and the very first Ghost Note show in Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
I was there. I was on the ground, boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Bro. Got my mind blown by Nicholas Simrod. He played synthesizer, and that's why I'm a synthesizer guy. Like he I had never in my life had an experience like that musically, where you go. I went thinking, oh man, Corey Henry's going to play. Like, oh man, this is going to be so sick. And then the whole shit. No slide on Corey. Obviously, he's like the greatest. But like the guy who stole the show for me was the synthesizer player who was just playing sounds I had never heard before.
Just touched your soul in a different way. Yeah,
and I'm just like, you can do. Holy crap, you can do that.
Yeah.
Like whoa, and I immediately hit him up on the internet. I was like, yo, I need to study with you. And that was kind of before he started really doing like the internet teaching. Now he's got a Patreon, which I highly recommend anybody musicals to check out. Synthesizer, man, just blew my mind.
Yeah, I think like, a lot of people can kind of be in there like classical training and, going to school and all that stuff. And that gives them like, it's some bit of a like knowledge and advantage and things. But also I think the sitting in and just being like a part of it and learning, like you say, real time, that gives you a whole other angle on things.
Absolutely. There's pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
If I was like I wouldn't change my development for a thing. Like I think that I've been able to develop my voice the way I have because of said thing. Like I had the guys being like, nah, like this, like on the spot. No,
yeah.
I didn't have like that's probably a bad thing, but I didn't have like a correct, curriculum as I started. I was like, I just want to make beats and stuff.
Yeah,
and
but that's music.
It's the beauty of it. That's the thing about the ethos of this project. It's like nobody can be you the way you can. That's why we named it what we named it. It's like we're defining what this word means. Nobody can be what this word is except this guy.
Which is?
Gilley.
Yeah. And, I've been listening to the album all this week. We are in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen. Tell us about some of these songs and the musicians who you called on to help create the album.
Heck yeah, man. I got an all-star cast. On the drums, we have Nicholas Worth. He is as rhythmically omnipotent as anybody you're going to find. His world is kind of the drum corps world. He was one of the great he's one of the best tenor players. He writes a lot of arrangements he's worked with the United States Army big band, like their marching corps. He writes their tunes. He studied with Paul Rennick down in North Texas. Just prowess. He's so good. He brought a musicality and a trust that I could get. Like I didn't have to worry about anything. Like I knew that the drums were going to be in the cut, perfect, no matter what, because he's just that kind of guy. And
trust, it's like that lends to a better creative space.
100%.
Everybody can feel like they're able to let go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Be free, and that's what you want in the studio. He absolutely crushed it. If I had programmed a demo and be like, I want it to kind of like this feel needs to be this feel, otherwise the melody's not going to feel or whatever. That dude he nailed it. Just absolute transcription wizard and just nailed the feels. On the bass, I start with the rhythm section because bass and drums.
Oh, man. Yeah, rhythm, I'm all about it.
And so on the bass, I had Zach Durham, who is one of my best friends in the entire world. We've lived together for years now. And
so are these like Denver cats? Or
Nick is in North Texas right now. He's up in Denton, Texas right now. That's where he's at. Zach lives with me here in Denver. I met Zach within like a month of me moving to town. And the guy who I had moved in with when I moved to town, he was like, yo, you got to meet my boy Zach. He's the man. Turns out he was not lying. He was not lying. Zach is, I wouldn't have this project sound the way it does without him. He was there with me in the trenches as I really polished it off. Couldn't say enough about that guy. There was even like life stuff that goes into like our dynamic that's like, I got down and out, which is has a lot to do with this project and being like this is what you can do with it, even though you're down and out. Yeah. You can still make something of something. It's all about your mindset kind of thing. And he was the guy. He held me up, and allowed me to go through my stuff and then still come out of the other end and be a better man. So there's like it's deeper than music. And in my opinion, the best music that ever gets made, whether anybody thinks it's popular or not, is byproducts of relationships like that. Yeah. And the same way with Birch and Diastrata. It's like, man, I went to elementary school with him. Our dads went to high school together. It's deep. You can't replace stuff like that. And I've been uniquely blessed with those kind of relationships. And I feel like all the music I've made in those spaces has been just a byproduct of how pure that stuff is, and that's why it feels so authentic. And Zach has, one of a kind friendship, and he's also a one of a kind musician too. You partner him with Nick Worth, bro, you're locked. You are locked. I had Brant Williams on the guitar. You might know him from Many Colors fame, dude. They're great. He was Fairman also connected me with him when I first moved to town. He's like, yo, my boy Brant's like, he's got this Tuesday at Appaloosa, which go to Appaloosa on Tuesdays. Check Brant out. He's the man. I'm in there sometimes. He's always got an all-star crew with him. Brant's like he's a very Zen guy. He's got he's got some Buddhism qualities going to him. And so and I'm kind of, I got a little wire going, you know what I mean? I can be a high-strung guy. And so having him just on like a dynamic level, just be like, yeah, man.
Balance you out.
Oh, man, it's perfect. Like, I feel, it's like I'm a baseball guy. I grew up playing baseball. I got drafted by the Atlanta Braves out of high school to play pro ball.
Okay.
And so, like, my background is very team, like, we're in a like, come on.
Oriented mindset
like,
about
we're
that.
Together on this thing,
Yeah.
And it's like, baseball is a funny sport because it's personality management, It's like there's all kinds of different cats that, like, are different kinds of ways. And you got to find a way, which ones work together, who, you know what I mean? And like all the little quirky things about each other's little stuff that actually works and what recipes taste good and which ones don't. And I feel like with this crew, Brant, he just added that. He's perfect. Now his playing's insane.
Yeah.
His playing has this uniqueness to it. He's got he's got the jazz backbone, but he has this indie heart that just has this like early 2000s emo kid in it, and I'm like, oh, I love that.
Yeah,
it tickles me. I love it.
And also kind of that hip hop.
That's what I'm saying. He's got the Dilla project. Like
the Dilla project.
They do it justice. Like they're great.
Yeah,
they're a great band. And
he brought in Jay Dilla's mom to our studios here.
That's crazy.
Ma Dukes.
That's crazy.
And I got to meet Ma Dukes because of Brant Williams. So shout out Brant Williams.
Brant Williams is the man. He is the man. I had a couple soloists that I featured. First one on the opening track, Finesser, is a buddy of mine named Greg King. He's in a band called Squeaky Feet. They're kind of some jam band prog bros, but he's got the fusion bone. He's got the Mike Stern. He's got the Schofield. He's got bebop language, and he's got tone. He's got great feel, and again, personality. Just that's ingredient number one. Personality got to click. I got to like being around you. And he's an all-time dude. I love him so much. And he kind of came in toward the end. I knew what I wanted on that thing, and I could have soloed over it, but I was like, this needs to be the guitar solo. This needs to be I need that thing. And Greg was like, got you. And he came in, dude, literally like 10 minutes we were done. And I was like, sick, dude.
Wow.
That was amazing. Nate Miller, I had Nate Miller solo on my song Ovident.
I was just going to ask you that. Who was playing that? That's Nate?
Nate Miller, yep. Nate, Braxton Kahn also of Many Colors, brought Nate, when I was living with Josh, over to the crib to jam. He had just moved to town from Walla Walla, Washington. Like, he had his hair over his eyes. He was like, oh, hey, man. He was like real soft-spoken and stuff. And then he pulled up the horn and just fired it off. We were like, whoa, dude. Like, I've been clicked up with him ever since. We toured he was in the Flamingosis Live Band with me. So we've spent hours and hours and hours together. And the whole theme here is like byproducts of I just been with these guys for a long time, being friends.
And that friendship carries into the studio, and then it just creates this flow.
Exactly, and it was so fun.
It sounds like everything really just came together so authentically, and that's incredible.
That's the whole theme here. It's like there's a lot of culture up nowadays about you got to do a lot of it. You got to do it fast. You got to put out so much of it so fast for people to care. And I'm like, the whole thing behind this thing was like, what if I took songs that I wrote 10 years ago or started 10 years ago and just took my time with them? I'm not in a rush for anybody. We're artists. We dictate. The market doesn't dictate to me.
So the bones of this project have really been in the works for that long?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like Finesser's 7 years old, Ovident's 10 years old.
Wow.
And obviously they develop over time, but a lot of like missed chances. I went through a life trauma, you know, and it was like I sat down at the piano, and that's what I was like, everything on this record, you were talking about what are these songs? Every one of them is sentimental. The whole thing is sentimental. It's deeply personal. It's not a platonic thing at all. This is like, I'm defining what my last name means because as I started this and you grow and you go through life, things happen to you. And for me, I lost my grandfather and my mom within like in a relatively short span of time. And those were like my two people who were, they gave me the blueprint on how to do this life. And mortality became very real. You know, I'm 35, about to be 36. I have a 9-year-old. And so everything is, what do you want to leave behind? We can do a lot of stuff in this life, but what if you could do something to define yourself, what would that be? And for me, this is that. And I wanted my daughter to see, even though I was going through even though you go through stuff, you still, you put on, you go, you continue the work, and everything will develop as it's supposed to. And that's why this project feels so authentic, because it is. Like, we're doing this, like, I'm not putting it out on streaming.
Okay.
No, like, I'm doing everything through my vessels. Like, if you want
Take the control, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you know, why? Why not? I love, you know, you make the art that you love, you do the thing that you like. And for me, there was a mysticism to music growing up. You had to want it. I had to go down to CD Warehouse and listen to the album.
Right, we've lost that now.
It's not there.
Yeah.
And so, will this be the most popular album in the world? Probably not. But that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is for young artists and myself and the people to see, like, you can define your own terms. There is nobody that tells you how to be you.
That's quite a lesson for your legacy and for your daughter and for just future generations and people, you know, getting into the project. And I mean, like, how does it feel finally getting to have these songs that have, you know, been so long coming be out into the world?
Bro,
yeah,
I just got goosebumps, you know. It's like, and doing it this way, it's like we're doing it on the radio. It's like you got to listen to the radio to hear it. And you know, it's like you used to have to do that. And it just feels like, you know, it's surreal to a point. Like, again, it's not about being popular. It's not about getting paid. It's just about being me. Yeah. And like, when you hear that name, I want you to, like, oh, that's quality. That's going to be good. That's you know, the ethos behind it. And it feels great, man. It's like, I don't know, playing them out with the boys too. It's just, I don't have words for it. You know, you get like elated. You know, I put out a YouTube video of a full show, and at the end of it, I was like, wait, Dad! I just can't even contain myself. Like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like that kind of feeling. I don't know if you could bottle that up and sell that. Like, I would.
Priceless. Yeah.
I'd be a holic.
So, who do you have performing with you at Dazzle on May 1st?
I've got the crew. I've got the guys on the album. I've got Nick Worth on the drums. I've got Zach Durham on the bass. I've got Brant Williams and Greg King on the guitars. I've got Nate Miller on the horn, and I'm gonna be playing too many synthesizers. I'm gonna bring the setup, and we got 90 minutes. We're gonna turn it up. I got a couple deep cuts that I've written that I haven't put out.
Awesome.
Playing some new stuff. I don't usually do covers. I usually play all original, but I've got a couple covers in there.
Nice.
Some odes to the OGs.
To the influences.
Yeah,
and
we got
stuff
we got a little Herbie, we got a little Chick going on.
Yeah.
So we got to do it justice, and I feel great about it.
How many synths you think you can fit on the Dazzle stage?
I don't know if they can move that piano out of the way.
You get the Grammy? Yeah. You're like, we're bringing in
I want to do synthesizers. Yeah. They're going to give me that look like, what? No, I think I'm going to bring 3 or 4. I'm going to bring 3 or 4. I'm bringing the Moogs. I want to sound warm, and it's going to sound good. I know that the set's going to be, I like my sets to be I'm a Pink Floyd head also. So it's like, once we start, this is a journey. And it's like, we're going to go through the end. You know, it's like we're going to go the whole way.
I felt that kind of listening to the album as it kind of starts in this kind of spacey, you know, a little bit more slow down tempo, and then it gets into this funky stuff that just, it evolves over the listening.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I was curious about what you thought of it, man. Which cut stuck out to you?
Stuart Scott.
Let's go, booyah!
I love the up tempo stuff like that, and also the subtitle on that. It's just fun.
Oh yeah, man. That's I was a '90s Sports Center kid. Like I said,
okay.
And so
John Tesh.
Yeah, dude, let's go.
Yeah.
Brown ball rock all day long. So the ethos of that song is I grew up, like I said, '90s Sports Center kid. Kenny Mayne, Stuart Scott, Dan Patrick, all those guys.
Yeah.
And the music that would be going on behind the highlights would be kind of this kind of thing that sounds kind of up tempo. It's got some synthesizer. It's not really changing a whole lot. It's like, for instance, like the song is one chord. You know what I'm saying? And it's like people think you got to play all these changes. It's like, well, if you can't play one chord cool, it makes you think you can play a bunch.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like one of the things I was thinking when I made it. How do you make one chord cool? And Stuart Scott, again, like he was the coolest guy. Like, and especially in sports journalism, there'd been nobody like him. And there'd been nobody up there talking like he talks, booyah! Like, with the pizzazz and just the whole flavor, And so like he was big to me, and he passed away from cancer, and I was like, man, like it was. So this is kind of that was my ode to my child. That was my ode to my childhood. Like I said, everything's deeply sentimental for a reason. Like that's for 8-year-old me.
Oh,
so.
And then Nectarine, In a Land Far Away. And also like Missed Chances too. Like I love the kind of change in Missed Chances, at kind of going how it goes, and then the percussion changes in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Worth crushed that. Absolutely crushed that. It's got some, like you said, some feel change going on. It made it feel seamless. Mm-hmm. He does this thing even coming out of the last B section into the end of to the last A, where he like triplets the time, and it's like very. He did that on his own. Like he just has. That's his sense. And that's the trust that I could have.
Exactly.
And it's like, I just know you're going to do something dope. Yeah. I don't have to tell you. And like, if you can surround yourself with guys like that, you're going to have some level of success. Whether it's them sounding good or you sounding good, like, there's going to be something that sounds good, especially if you have guys you sound good.
So I like to ask everyone this, like, who's on your playlists right now? Who are you listening to? Lately,
I've been stuck in a movie score space here lately. Ennio Morricone he's the spaghetti western guy.
Okay.
All the Sergio Leone stuff, Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Once Upon a Time in the West, Fistful of Dollars, Few Dollars More, all that. He also did. I'm a huge John Carpenter guy. He's a horror movie guy. Ennio Morricone did the score for The Thing, which is that horror movie from the early 80s with Kurt Russell. And fun fact, this is where I've been. Hateful Eight is the exact same plot as The Thing, and Tarantino says as much in an interview.
Okay.
They're isolated by a snowstorm, and nobody can trust anybody. The arc is the same, okay? And so he hit up Ennio Morricone to do the score, and Morricone gave him leftover music from The Thing. And so the score to Django is just leftover music from The Thing. And if you listen to the soundtrack to The Thing into the soundtrack of Django, they go perfectly seamless.
No way.
I'm not lying to you.
Wow.
So that's what I've been on. I've been on some nerds.
On the cinematic
Yes,
wave.
and so because I've been everything I want. I love making emotive music, and so movie scores are already innately have a picture, and so you're already innately painting a picture in your mind when you hear a movie score. And so I've really been getting into that space. As far as the beats go, Drew Birch has a SoundCloud live beat set from. What's the Controllerized? Thank you. He's got some stuff on there that on the sound. I've been on the SoundCloud.
Oh yeah, I've been on. We never leave the SoundCloud.
Never leave the SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Alex B. Brain Food. This is if you wanted me to give you my gospel. Alex B. Brain Food, X Mag Shadow of Love EP.
X Mag.
It's the greatest band of all time to me.
That really was a huge awakening for me. Was X Mag
the greatest band of all time to me? Yeah. Those are friends of mine. Like those Mike Ionato, Tyler Dondero. Those dudes are friends of mine. So like I got to be with these guys, like right next to them, and being like just kind of soaking up the thing. And man, that like to me, no music hits me the way that does. Yeah. It's like synthesizer guitar melodies with 140 trap drums. You're like, again,
know.
you can do that.
And just a new feel of like the
Fusion. It's
the
like a new
funk
thing.
Fusion is like just crazy.
Never had heard anything like it. Haven't heard anything like it since.
Yeah.
They're timeless, ahead of their time, and we're gonna play a presser at our show. That's one of the covers, like Ode to the OGs, for real. And so I stay on the Drew Birch, the X Mag, the Alex B. Lately, I've been back into my '90s alt bag. Incubus was my first band that I like. I was like 9. I heard Pardon Me. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like I have to go buy that CD, and I did. And Make Yourself was the first CD I ever purchased with my own money. And it's very illustrative of you are a product of your experiences. Like the things that I was internalizing when I was a little boy was make yourself, define yourself. Don't let anybody tell you what you can do, what you can't do. You're the one. You can define. You're the guy.
I think that's important.
And
important
like here
words.
we are, and here I am 25, 30 years later and I'm doing exactly that for myself. So I'm big on like what you're putting in.
So where did this album get recorded?
I actually went back home to Fort Smith, Arkansas, to record it. A buddy of mine, Grant Thomas, who I've been friends with for a very long time. He had built this studio space, which is it's very immaculate. It's called Soul Studios, SOL, Soul Studios. I've recorded in Sunset Sound in Los Angeles, been to Studio G, Brooklyn. I've been in some places. I've been fortunate to do that. And this place, it's a diamond in the rough. You wouldn't think that in Fort Smith, Arkansas, you'd find a studio that is competitive in that way. But man, in my opinion, it trumped them. It was like, it was big on the energy. We were talking about energy.
That's such an important part of the studio space.
The walls are covered with these. What would you even call that? Like they were like blankets that were.
It almost seems like you go to India.
Yeah, it's like had a very Middle Eastern kind of energy to it. A lot of red.
Kind of like Egyptian rugs.
Absolutely,
or like
absolutely,
like that.
absolutely. And the lighting was perfect. The control room was unlike anything I'd ever been in. Like cool, funky furniture, cool colors. Cool shapes.
Just step into a vibe.
You were immediately transported into the vibe. And I feel like whenever we got there, the band just kind of was like, oh, because we had played a few. Like what I did is I booked a little run leading up to the studio. So like we could just cut our teeth running some reps, playing the shows or playing the songs at the gigs, and then when we go into the studio, it's just kind of we've been doing it, and it's fresh. And man, we just got in there, and it was like. And like Nick took his time getting his drums right. I had every keyboard you could want, like Rhodes, Junos, Moogs, different kinds of Moogs, organs, like you name it. Mellotron, I went nuts with the Mellotron on Nightlight. Like probably went a little too crazy with that, but the studio that I went to, it's like I said, diamond in the rough, Fort Smith, Arkansas. You wouldn't think that you could find something that can make your record sound like that. But it did. So shout out to Soul Studios, Grant Thomas. Thank you, man.
That's awesome. Man, Ian Gilley, thank you so much for coming into the studios today.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
It's been great. It's been great to connect with you. Like I love that, thank you so much for supporting my stuff throughout when we doing it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Like you were the guy I wanted to come to do this. Everything's very intentional with this.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Seriously.
And I think it's really cool to be doing a OG debut on the radio.
Let's go, man. Thank you. That's like we're doing it.
Yeah.
Keeping it old school.
Keeping it old school.
Yeah, man.